Hey everyone. I am coming on today in a portal of transmutation of pain. And I really wanted to come here today to offer some self healing techniques if anyone else has been experiencing whether it's just from your own stressful life, from your sensitivity to the collective. There is a lot of intensity going on right now, and I just learned that we are also in the midst of some really powerful solar flares. I mean, I guess I didn't just learn, but it just came back into my awareness today. And I awoke in the middle of the night in some really intense head and neck pain. And so I thought this is a great time to come and share with you what I do to alleviate this so that I can get on with my day. I'm getting ready to go and work in the garden today. And so I just kind of want to dive right into some healing techniques. So, if you suffer from head, neck, shoulder tension, pain, whether just sometimes or it's a regular occurrence, I hope I can offer you some ways to alleviate it just through the breath and self massage manual techniques with a little bit of movement and stretching in here. And of course, remembering to drink plenty of water. And if you have access to hydrogen rich, electrolyzed, reduced water, please remember to utilize it. And if you don't and you're curious to know more, go ahead and ask me. And that being said, take a drink of whatever water you have handy, and let's dive into some self healing techniques to get you through those times of stress and pain and transmutation and awakening. You know, some people call them ascension symptoms. I'm not going to get into that. We all experience pain and tension in our physical bodies and need ways to get through it. So, big drink of water. And remembering to drink lots more water afterwards because the water helps move through what gets released when you're holding tension in your muscles. You're also holding toxins there. And so as we do these techniques to release the tension, you may find I'm honestly feeling a little bit in an altered state of consciousness right now, from what is moving through me. And so remembering to drink plenty of clean water, again, preferably hydrogen rich, electrolyzed, reduced water if you can get your hands on it. And thank you for sharing, Amber, that you're also dealing with a lot of grief. And this is real. This has been, even if you don't have direct grief in your family, there is just a collective, huge amount of grief happening right now. And continually in our lifetime with war after war after war and people being mutilated. And so whether you have direct grief in your family, which I'm just holding you right now, if that is you, thank you so much for sharing that, Amber. Oh, yeah, really feeling that, the love of your life. Thank you for sharing that, Amber. I'm just holding you right now and feeling your tender heart. And anyone else who's feeling personal or collective grief right now, really inviting in a tender touch as you practice with me today, a gentleness with yourself, And so I like to do a lot of like deep self massage, getting into points and feeling those activations. But it's important not to go in too quickly. So I want to start with just connecting to the breath and inviting in some relaxation. So wherever you are sitting, find a comfortable position for yourself that is upright and erect, and where you feel that your spine is in alignment. And I like to have my feet flat on the floor if I'm in a chair, or sometimes I really prefer to sit on a cushion on the floor where my hips can be higher than my knees in a cross-legged position. So whatever feels comfortable to you, just make sure you have good support under your seat so that your spine can be erect and relaxed. Welcoming in the breath as if something greater were breathing into you. Allowing that breath to fill you up from the base of the pelvis all the way to the crown of the head. And with each exhale, relax onto the support of the breath. Sighing breath can help with the relaxation. Noticing where you are holding tension. Often I feel it in the back of my heart between my shoulder blades where I can't reach to do my self massage. I do utilize a foam roller and blocks to get into those places. We're going to do a seated practice here today, but just first allowing that breath to be the first thing that touches your tension and melts it just a little bit. And if it is touching into some grief, some tender-hearted, grieving places, allow yourself to feel that emotion. Allow yourself to receive the nourishment of the breath and release a little more with each exhale. And if this does invite in tears, know that tears are the way that we allow this grief to move through and heal and release. It doesn't need to bring in more tension. So we're just continuing to breathe into the tension and release a little more. And let's start to relax by doing a little bit of movement with the breath. So inhale, lifting the shoulders. Exhale, rolling them back, letting the arms begin to follow, letting the torso follow, or maybe you're only comfortable with a very small movement. Feeling that this movement begins to massage the tight areas of the neck and shoulders, inhaling and exhaling. And now one at a time, so there's a little bit of a twist. And you can go ahead and do these standing if that feels more comfortable. When I start moving, my automatic wants to stand, but I'm going to stay in this smaller place now. Oh, wow, Diana, what a synchronicity. Thank you for sharing that. I love how we are in this together. Let's come back to two shoulders. And now palms up. And so my arms are just kind of out with the palms up in a receiving position right now, receiving the healing power of the breath. And now I'm going to rest one hand palm up in my lap and take the other one across to just grab the back of the shoulder and use the weight of the arm to rake across the back of the shoulder and the front of the chest. reaching back and pulling forward, finding that tension in your back. Letting the neck relax away a little bit if that feels good. Reaching back, inhaling into the tension, exhale, pull it across and out. You can even flick it off at the end. Using a sighing breath along with a gentle massage technique can really just release so much tension so quickly. Inhale. Notice how I'm starting to bring in the shoulder movement. So I inhale my shoulder into my hand. Exhale, relax. So the arm that's working is also relaxing. Let's do the other side. So now that hand comes into the lap, reaching back as far as you can reach and grabbing that tension and raking it across the chest and out. Going a little deeper with each breath. Shaking it out. Now I like to take both my hands together to hold the back of my neck. And now I'm using this pinky side of my hand to just gently rest my head onto, so the base of the skull. And sometimes I move my hands and sometimes I move my head. Sometimes I do both. Again, self-massage should feel relaxing as much as possible, even to the part that's doing the massage. So right now I'm getting the base of my skull, the occipital ridge, bringing blood into the brain. So keep the breath going. Now you can just hold that occipital ridge, perhaps gently lifting the head. Mostly I'm leaning my head into my hands and lifting my heart, opening the chest, relaxing that space at the back of the heart between the shoulder blades, just breathing here. Relaxing the jaw. Wiggling the neck a little bit. And then you can take the heels of the hand to just gently, I'm releasing the clasp a little bit so the heels can come to the sides of the neck and just gently squeezing in. Or maybe you bring the outside of the palm. That feels really good right there. Across the muscles of the neck, maybe just below the jaw, through the jaw, opening and closing the mouth. Across from the back to the front. Wiggling the neck whenever that feels right to release the tension. And now coming across and down, there's this muscle in the front that goes across all of your delicate throat, lymphatic and blood vessels. And so pulling that ropey muscle, it's called the sternocleidomastoid or SCM, grabbing that muscle off of your throat. It goes all the way up from just behind the jaw and ear across to the clavicle, the collarbone. And then just gently drawing the lymphatic tissue down. So this is a gentle massage to encourage the lymphatic system to process all those toxins. There's a lot of lymph in the throat and in the armpit. So taking it down and across the chest, and then the other side will grab that ropey muscle. Ah. I always wiggle my body into the massage as much as I use my hand because, again, I'm not trying to take the tension into my hand. My effort here is to be as relaxed in my massage as I am, as relaxed in my giving to myself as I am in my receiving, and then pulling that lymphatic tissue down and across the chest. Ah. And then lightly tapping can be a really powerful, or if you actually are having a headache, sometimes tapping isn't the best. And so I do this. This is a technique called scritching. It's a technical term. It's just like what you do when you're shampooing your scalp. And if your hair is like mine, it won't mind getting messed up. If you don't want to mess your hair, then really light tapping can be the way. So both are wonderful. Gentle scritching, light tapping. I really like tapping on the face. And it's like giving yourself a facial, awakening all the blood vessels in your face, relaxing the muscles. And there's a point right on the crown of the head that connects to the entire central channel. So see if you can tap the crown of your head and feel an activation at the core of your pelvis. Gently massaging. Pulling the tension off can also be beautiful, and it also gives you a very lovely wild hair look. And now I want to give you one last thing that I find is really powerful in coping with head and neck pain, and this is trigger point therapy, also known as acupressure. But we aren't worried about where the points are so much as finding the ones that are active for you. So there are points, as you may know, the sinuses are hollow cavities in the bones of the face above and below the eyes. So even just lightly rubbing like this can be a powerful way to bring healing here, and breathing deeply through the nose while you do it. And then you can start just outside the nose, finding the point and breathing through the nostrils. And then coming out a finger width, relaxing the shoulders while you do this. So just resting your face into your fingers rather than pressing with your fingers. Walking it out. The cheekbone goes down a little bit. There's a little notch here to lean into. And you may want to stay longer on one of these points because it feels particularly active until you start to feel it open up. This is also really wonderful for dealing with sinus pain and infections. Now I've come around to my jaw. I really like to do circles in my jaw and then opening and closing gently until I find a particular point that wants to be either held or just gently offered friction. Relax. And then we always like to make nice, and this is also in trigger point therapy, integrating. It's like doing a reset for these points. There are also points right on the outside of the nose here that feel really good. And then walking up to the bridge of the nose, and then finding the points on the upper ridge. Sometimes I like to come above, or often I'll do the same thing, just leaning in. You may notice I switched fingers. It feels good to me to use different fingers, so I'll switch from my first to second fingers sometimes. Breathing through the nose to really open the sinuses while you're activating with your fingers, walking out one point. Relaxing the shoulders and neck as you breathe. Coming out one finger width. This point in the center of the brows is often very active. There's a little notch here where the nerves go through, so be gentle if it feels extra active for you. Lean in deeper if it feels like it needs more. Deep breaths through the nose, sighing out when you feel the need to release more. One more notch out. And again, you may take more time on these points. When I get out to the temples, I like to do gentle circles and then rake up the forehead into the hairline. Perhaps all the way over the back, coming back to the neck and just giving some gentle pulls from the back of the heart up through the base of the skull, up the side of the neck, pulling that tension up, and giving it to grace. Let's integrate with a few more shoulder rolls or wiggles, whatever feels good to your body right now. Maybe you can notice, if you were here at the beginning, that my light is coming out a little bit more right now because I've gotten the blood and lymph and chi moving. I am activating my inner healer to take care of the pain and tension. There's also something in here, and some of you mentioned grief earlier, so I didn't know we were going to do this one, but it says add this one in at the end, coming into the point. This is the point. This is my shoulder bone right here. This is the point where the pec minor goes across to that upper arm bone. Whew. And this is the grief point. It's the lung meridian that starts here and goes all the way down and out the thumb. So if this point feels extra active after you massage it, you may want to pull that energy off of your thumb. Whew. And shake it out. We'll do the other side. Whew. There's a lot of grief energy in my body, and I know there's a lot of grief energy in the collective, personally and collectively. You may want to move your shoulder into this to help it release. Breathe, and then pull it off your thumb. Shake it out. And tapping. I like to tap with my palms cupped, my fingers hitting my sternum and the heels of my hands on the outside of my chest, or with loose fists so one arm can relax while the other one takes care of it. Let's do some tapping where we started, on the tops of the shoulders, down the top of the arm, back up the inside. Get that lymph in the armpit, down the side, and the other side. Whew. Again, shaking it up, wiggle it out. I really encourage any stretching that you feel inspired to do. I'm not going to do it with you today, but I may come back and do some more stretching with you next time. I hope you're feeling that energy moving. Remember to drink lots of water, hydrogen rich, electrolyzed, reduced water if it is available to you. And if you want to learn how you can get some in your hands, drop a water emoji below and I'll get some information to you. And until then, drink whatever clean, pure water is available to you, preferably not from a plastic bottle. And I will see you next time. Have an amazing day and magical full moon tomorrow. This may be a part of the wild energy we're feeling right now, too. The Virgo full moon calling us to take better care of ourselves. So I will see you next time. Maybe we'll do a full moon ritual tomorrow. Love you all so much. Remember, you deserve all the love. You are the love. You are such a gift to me and to this world. And I'm so grateful to spend this time with you today. I'll drink to that. Bye for now.